The man is the head, but the woman is the neck. And the neck can make the head move whatever way she wants. And it determines which way the head will turn, because a wise husband will listen to a wise wife. He will.
Erika Kirk just got caught on camera saying the quiet part out loud. And yeah, it's exactly what people have been whispering about this whole time. She straight up frames her relationships like business deals, not love stories. And that clip that disappeared, it says a lot more than she probably wanted out there. In that now vanished video, Erika calls her past relationships transactional and proudly drops that line about the wife being the neck while the husband is the head, basically saying she's the one steering everything. And here's the twist. She was already married to Charlie when she said it, and you can hear that excitement in her voice, like she knew exactly the kind of control she had. But this didn't just start with Charlie. There's a pattern here that people can't ignore, moving from one situation to the next while also claiming she stayed single and waiting for years. So what is it really? Is Erika just chasing status and security, or is there something deeper going on behind the scenes? And with everything that happened to Charlie, it really makes you wonder who was actually calling the shots here.
So Erika Kirk actually had 2 boyfriends within the 5 years before meeting Charlie Kirk. So why lie about this? Interesting. But there's also another boyfriend. His name is Tyler Massey, and she dated him in 2015. Here we have them doing Fashion Week in Phoenix together.
So this video just popped up. Erika Kirk speaking at the 2021 Good Things Women's Conference in California. And people are saying she accidentally revealed way more than she meant to. It's one of those moments where the mask seems to slip, and once you notice it, you can't unsee it. Watch closely what happens the second she brings up Charlie. Instead of showing real emotion or love, she laughs it off and jokes that she upgraded, like she's talking about a lifestyle switch, not a marriage. That one comment alone has people raising eyebrows and questioning everything about how she really saw that relationship.
When I was living in New York, the types of relationships that I would have that were work-related were very transactional. In LA, it was like, hey, nice to meet you, but what are you going to do for me? One yes closer to being on the silver screen, like...
Everything Erika says here just feels off, and people can't stop pointing it out. Who casually says, I upgraded my last name like that? Even as a joke, it doesn't land like something natural. It sounds calculated, like she's framing the whole thing as a move, not a relationship. And it only gets stranger from there. Right after that, Erika starts breaking down her relationship before Charlie and straight up describes it as transactional. That choice of words has people locked in because it makes everything sound more like a deal than something genuine. And that's what's raising so many questions right now. Erika has said over and over that she never wanted attention or a public spotlight. But this clip has people seriously questioning that story. The way she presents herself here feels way more confident and performative than someone trying to stay out of the public eye, and viewers are picking up on every little detail.
It's Erika Kirk. I am married to the unbelievable husband of mine, Charles Kirk. Charlie. So last time I was here, I was a Franzwe. Now I upgraded my last name to a Kirk.
Some are now pointing to this as proof she was chasing visibility, even hinting at acting ambitions and being strategic about the connections she made. They're saying her relationships start to look less emotional and more like calculated steps, always asking, what's in it for me behind the scenes? And then there's that head and neck metaphor she repeats. She explains how the wife is the neck that guides the head, the husband, basically saying she's the one directing everything. Knowing that idea came from a movie just makes it feel even more scripted, and people are really starting to connect the dots in a whole new way.
We're very transactional. Nice to meet you, do business, go on.
But watch Erika's body language closely and really listen to what happens next. The moment seems to shift fast, and people are pointing out how her tone and energy suddenly change. As soon as it sounds like she's admitted to wanting control in the relationship, she appears to tense up and switch gears. Right after that, she quickly becomes defensive, almost like she's trying to walk it back in real time. That sudden reaction is what has viewers locked in, because it feels like something slipped out that she didn't fully mean to reveal. Now, if this was just a random person talking like this, most people probably wouldn't think twice about it. The whole head and neck idea is a metaphor that's been around for a while.
One of my favorite movies is My Big Fat Greek Wedding. And so there's a point in the movie where the mom and the daughter are talking about this one moment before she's about to get married, and she's trying to convince the father to do something that he does not want to do. The mom, she's like, don't worry. She's like, the man is the head, but the woman is the neck. And the neck can make the head move whatever way she wants.
But this is Erika we're talking about, the same person who's already been called out multiple times for not being fully honest about her past before Charlie. Remember when Erika claimed she hadn't dated anyone for 5 years before meeting him? That story started to fall apart fast once people began digging. First, there was Cabot Phillips, the pizza tattoo guy, who she was clearly involved with, even though that didn't line up with what she said. And it doesn't stop there. New receipts have people talking again, and now names like basketball player Josh Harrelson and Survivor star Joe Lum are being brought into the conversation.
And I just was like, exactly. Because if you picture the physical body, and it's not meant to be manipulative. Some people are like, oh, I'll move the head wherever I want because I'm going to manipulate my husband. That has nothing to do with it. If you picture the physical body, you can't move your head without your neck. You can't. Your head is supported by your whole body. And it determines which way the head will turn, because a wise husband will listen to a wise wife.
During that same 5-year window, she described as quiet and single. There are photos and clips showing her and Joe together, looking very close, like a couple, not just casual acquaintances. Joe, being from Arizona, just like Erika, only adds more questions, even if it's not totally clear when or where they first connected. There's even footage of Erika handling a rifle while Joe stands right next to her, which has people analyzing every detail. And then there's another twist. Footage has surfaced showing Erika out in New York City in 2016, partying and drinking right in the same time period she claimed she didn't drink at all and was just living through her roommate. All of this stacked together is why people are now looking back at her past statements with a lot more skepticism than before. So all these receipts, they seriously challenge Erika's story about not dating for 5 years. Instead of staying low-key and waiting for the right person, people are pointing to a timeline that looks way more active. Meeting different guys, traveling, going out, and chasing opportunities, including trying to break into acting. There are even reports linking her to Tyler Strange from the band Emerson Drive after she appeared in their music video. Then, after Tyler, attention shifts to Josh Harrelson, the basketball player. But he wasn't the only athlete connected to her name. She's also been linked to Joseph Tyler Massey, a former pro baseball player.
We as the American people deserve to have every Epstein file released with no redactions whatsoever, period. And we the American people ran on transparency. We deserve to see the entire client list. Every document the government has regarding the Epstein files, we the American people should have on an easy to access website immediately in a very, very quick fashion. I'm pushing for that both privately and publicly, just so you know.
The two appeared in couple-style photo shoots and interviews, and she reportedly referred to him as her incredible boyfriend. which again doesn't match the idea of being completely single during that stretch. At the same time, Erika started getting more involved in political spaces, partly through her longtime connection to Tyler Boyer, who would later introduce her to Charlie. That link ends up being a major turning point in her story. And right before Charlie enters the picture, there's Cabot Phillips in 2017, the same Cabot who had crossed paths with Charlie not long before Erika and Charlie went on their first date. That overlap has people raising eyebrows and connecting timelines. What also stands out to many is how different Charlie seemed compared to the people she was previously linked with. While Erika's past appears full of relationships and connections, Charlie was known for having little to no dating history at all. So, with everything that's come out about Erika's past, people are now looking at the bigger picture and asking even more questions about how all of this really came together. So, looking at everything from around September 10th, people are asking, does this really match the image of someone who just happened to meet Charlie at the perfect moment and fit seamlessly into that role? For a lot of viewers, the timeline feels too layered to ignore, and they're starting to question how everything lined up the way it did. At this point, many are saying the pattern speaks for itself, and overlooking it feels like a conscious decision. And if Erika was presenting herself in a certain way the entire time, some are even wondering whether Charlie ever started to notice inconsistencies behind the scenes. But here's where things really get intense. People keep asking why Erika hasn't directly addressed two of the biggest topics tied to Charlie: his push for the release of Epstein-related documents and his stance on the Iran situation. Charlie was deeply invested in those issues, openly saying he was working on them both publicly and privately, which is why the silence around them now is raising even more questions. And then Charlie started pushing further into one area that a lot of major outlets barely touch. He began focusing on claims about Epstein's connections to foreign intelligence networks, something that has been debated but rarely explored in detail on a mainstream level.
Israel,
That shift
Jewish
caught
people.
people's attention fast because it showed he
awful.
was willing to go deeper into topics that many others avoid. And it
Awful.
added another
Anti-Semitism
layer to
is-
everything he was working on at the time.
What
But
healing
Erika stayed
factor comes
completely
out
silent
of
when it came
hating
to the
Jewish
Epstein
people? What
files.
healing factor comes
And
out of
that's
hating
what
Christians?
really has people talking.
It's evil.
When you connect that silence, to
Charlie and I
claims
have
about
always
her
been
working
very
at a
clear
real
on our
estate firm that's
stance.
been linked to
I
Epstein's
wanted to hire her.
past, it
I only had
raises
one
a
problem.
lot of eyebrows
Charlie
and
Kirk
even
wanted to
more
date her.
questions. Then there's the situation with
Long
Iran
story
in
short,
June
I was very
2025.
worried he was going to scare her off.
Lies that Epstein, with his little friend Ghislaine and Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell, who was obviously a spy of the Israeli intelligence agencies, that there was something else going on here. Epstein was not some sort of whiz kid hedge fund manager. Epstein was playing a part. Epstein was a LARPer. Epstein was cast for a specific role, and he played it really well. It's nothing new that if you're in the intel agencies, you want to try and get as much blackmail on powerful people as possible.
Just 3 months before everything happened, Charlie reportedly went straight to the White House, urging the Trump administration not to move forward with a war. He was clearly fired up about it, even saying he was trying to shut these maniacs down, which shows how strongly he felt about the issue. Put those two things side by side, his very public push on major global issues and her silence. And people can't help but wonder what
When
was
is the neck?
really going on behind the scenes.
And the neck can make
And
the head
Charlie had
move
been warning about
whatever
this
way
war
she
for
wants.
years. It wasn't something that just came out of nowhere. All the way back in 2019, he was already sounding the alarm, saying there were rumblings that we might be preparing a ground war with Iran and calling it a massive mistake. He made his position crystal clear. He argued that sanctions and cutting funding were strategic moves, but sending U.S. troops into another ground war? He pushed back hard on that, saying it wasn't the answer and calling for an end to what he saw as endless, costly conflicts. Then, in 2020, he doubled down again, warning, "Our future is not in the Middle East. Sand and death will further bankrupt us." And he kept it direct. No war with Iran.
And he writes, right there with you, Charlie, we have to shut these maniacs down. Not only is the Republic depending on it, but the citizens of Israel are too. And Charlie said, thank you, I totally agree. Brett said, and by the way, I think the president needs us to keep the pressure on. The neocons are very vocal and admittedly powerful, but the public does not want war, especially not to be dragged into one by a belligerent Israeli regime. Charlie responds and says, I know, we need to do better. I'm doing all I can. Truly, I was in the White House all day fighting for America. Same tomorrow. Okay? These were Charlie's perspectives regarding the Iranian war. That is how Charlie felt about neocons. He felt like they were maniacs.
That message didn't change over time, and that consistency is what stands out to people now. Fast forward to April 2025, and Charlie was still speaking with urgency, calling the potential war a catastrophic mistake, and warning it could spiral into something far worse. He didn't back off. If anything, he got louder about it. Then in June 2025, he put the question directly to his audience on X, asking if the U.S. should get involved in Israel's war against Iran, and nearly 90% of his followers said no. That response only amplified how strong the sentiment was around his message, and how many people were aligned with what he'd been warning about for years. So when you step back and look at it all, people are saying Charlie's final years seemed focused on two major priorities: pushing for the release of unredacted Epstein-related files and speaking out against a potential war with Iran. Those were the issues he kept coming back to again and again, right up until the end. Now Charlie is gone, and many are pointing out that only a small portion of those Epstein documents have actually been released, while tensions around Iran escalated. That contrast alone has a lot of people paying closer attention to what's happened since. At the same time, Erika says she's carrying on Charlie's legacy. But critics are questioning why she hasn't publicly addressed those same issues in a meaningful way. To them, it feels like a major gap between what Charlie focused on and what's being continued now. And that brings everything back to her own words. When she talked about relationships being transactional and used that neck and head metaphor, people started rethinking her role in the marriage entirely. If that's how she viewed things, it leaves many wondering how much influence she really had behind the scenes, and what that might have meant for everything that followed. And when you put all the pieces together, this story starts to look very different than what people were first told. The timelines, the statements, the silence, it's all being re-examined, and more questions keep coming up the deeper you look. So what do you think is really going on here? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation is far from over. And if you want more breakdowns like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video so more people can see what's being uncovered.